Hey everybody, what's going on? My name is Mead, and I am here with the first ever episode of Crystal Cards. It's a Yu-Gi-Oh! YouTube show, obviously. I've gotten a lot of interest and feedback from deck lists and profiles that I've done on YouTube, and decided that, you know, I've gotten enough feedback now, obviously enough people are watching, that I'm going to go ahead and start doing this once a week. So you know, in order for me to know what you guys are liking, please make sure to comment and subscribe. I really appreciate it. I don't by any means claim to be the best duelist around, but I've been playing the game for a long time and know a decent amount of stuff. So today, what I want to talk about is a deck that kind of came out of left field for a lot of people at the Kansas City YCS, and that was the Final Countdown deck. And I've been playing Final Countdown. I got my candy deck building binder here. And the Final Countdown is a wonderful handy little card here that lets you count off 20 turns, yours and your opponent's count, and at the end of it, if you're still alive, you automatically win. So it's a really good stall deck, and you're seeing a lot of cards like Swift Scarecrow be played a lot in there. You're seeing a lot of One Day Apiece be played in there. And it really can shut down a lot of the basic decks that you are used to seeing in tournaments, from Zectors to Windups to Dino Rabbit, everything. So Final Countdown is really an awesome deck. I really think a lot more people should check it out, but the problem is now that it's won a major tournament, or excuse me, topped a major tournament, we're going to be seeing it a lot more in tournament play, and the question becomes, well, how do you stop it? I actually have a card in my side deck already, and that's going to be my card of the day today. You can see it right here in the background, kinda, sorta. There's a bit of a glare on TV. But Curse Seal the Forbidden Spell is my card of the day. You got a copy of it right here. It is a counter trap that allows you to discard one spell card from your hand, and when you do, you can negate the effect of a spell card that was played by your opponent, and you don't just negate that one copy, you negate every copy in their deck. I was actually already using this card for as a side deck against Elemental Heroes, because I found that a lot of players, if they can't use their Miracle Fusion, they don't know what to do and they fall apart. I've had several opponents that have scooped to me as soon as I hit Curse Seal on their Miracle Fusion, which I just find hilarious. But it actually becomes even a better side deck choice in Final Countdown. Number one, if you can manage to hit that Curse Seal on the Final Countdown, then you have a major advantage, because they don't have much in the way of a secondary win condition in the Final Countdown deck. There are a couple cards that in the YCS version did go aggro. I was actually really impressed to see this as a choice. Gores made the Final Countdown deck in the main deck, and that was pretty cool to see. I also know he was running Lava Golems in the side deck. I know there was some Chain Burn stuff, but for the most part, a Final Countdown player is relying on their Final Countdown. So if we take that away as an option, we're golden. But with Cardies, Gold Sarks, all that kind of stuff, they're going to be getting to their Final Countdown relatively quickly, maybe quicker than you can pull these. So what do you do if that happens? Well, that's real simple. One Day Apiece is probably the most awesome card to go into the Final Countdown deck, because it automatically gives you 2 turns where you're just not worried. You're not going to be burning up your Wabacoos, Threatening Roars. You're not going to be burning up your Thunder Rulers. You are simply going to be sitting there, being happy, drawing an extra card, which is going to be another card that's going to help defend your life points. But if it gets Curse Sealed, that means that every time that your opponent draws into one of those One Day Apiece, they can't even activate it. It's just a dead card in their hand. And they're likely not going to have any copies of Summoner Monk in their deck to be discarding it to get any kind of advantage from it that way. So that's really a good way to go. It's also really important when you're playing against a Final Countdown deck to not let yourself feel rushed. When I was using the Final Countdown, one of the biggest advantages I would have is I would make my opponents feel like they were in this I have to do it right now thing, and they would totally overextend, and it's actually very easy for a Final Countdown player to just protect themselves with that one turn when they see the giant overextension coming. So it's really important when you're playing against a Final Countdown deck to really balance the cards you're playing, and as soon as you see them drop their one card, you need to know that you got to hold off on your attacking, but that doesn't mean you have to hold off on your setup. A good setup is key to beating a Final Countdown deck. Another card that I really want to recommend as a side deck choice, if you're running into a lot of Final Countdown decks in your area and in your current metagame, a lot of chain burn decks in your current metagame, Jinzo is actually a wonderful side deck. 1 tribute, 2400 attack points, so we still got that boss attack, but they can't even activate the traps. They have to stay face down, which is different than the Royal Decree, which can go face up. If you're playing an Executive Player, for example, maybe they'll put the Royal Decree face up, and once they know that there's no traps they have to worry about, they'll use an effect to pop that, get an extra cycle out of it. When you're playing a Final Countdown player, they're looking for that Royal Decree because they automatically assume you are going to side deck it in to stop the Threatening Roars, to stop the Wapakus, to stop the Thunder of Rulers, and to stop the Frozen Souls. But if you also include Jinzo, they might not have the monster destruction that they need as easily to be able to stop you, so you can get a good amount of attacks through that way. Also, don't be afraid to try, and burn them for a little bit. And if you can, it's a good idea to have side deck elements that can protect you from burn damage, because in a lot of the Final Countdown decks that I've been seeing on Dual Network, as opposed to doing the life point gain, they're doing a lot of the burn in the late game, in the game 3. So that's what I've been seeing, and that is my tips on how to beat the Final Countdown, and hopefully you will find success. My next episode, because this is kind of a shortened episode, really just kind of a card of the day thing and how-to on Final Countdown. But the next episode is going to be my first full-length episode, more my premiere episode, and I've been kind of saying for a minute that we're going to be focusing on the Yubel deck. The Yubel deck that I'm going to be profiling in that episode is my best friend Chris Willett's Chaos Yubel, which he has found an amazing amount of success with, and I'm going to have him on via computer on Skype, and we're going to be talking to him, and he's going to actually be the one giving you some of the tips on how to have success with that for the Yubel players that have been enjoying my videos. Also, in the coming weeks, we're going to have a Nordic deck that I've been working on, profiled on here. So I know that's not a very popular deck, but hey, I don't really care if it's popular or not. I want to have fun in this game, and I think that's really, really just missed. I'm just going to say a little bit on that. I had a conversation with a player in my local area today when I was actually talking about the Nordic deck, and he said how he hasn't found the Nordic deck to be successful with anybody that's played it, and why would I even want to build it? I think that it's really silly that a lot of players only focus on decks that are considered good decks in tournaments, and that's really another point with the whole Final Countdown that should be brought up. A week ago, literally 1 week ago, I was at a tournament and there was a player that was playing a Final Countdown deck, and I heard people making fun of him for playing that Final Countdown deck. Just, winning or losing, it didn't matter. They were just making fun of him because he was playing a bad deck. And then you just turn around and you see it top a YCS, and the next day you have players all over the internet going, I need to get these same cards that were in the Final Countdown deck so that I can play it. It's not about it being a good deck, it's about how much time and how much thought you put into your deck. And that's really, really, really going to be a big focus on this YouTube show, is putting the time, putting the focus into your deck, thinking about it, because I believe that any deck that has a good amount of time and thought put into it is going to have success. So that's our show for the day. Make sure to subscribe. Please, please, please subscribe, and don't be afraid to hit me back in the comments anything you'd like to see. Once again, my name is Brian Mead, and I am out. Have a great day, guys.